What's up, Joe fans? In today's episode, we've got a ton to dive into. Who is the mystery character in the background of Nemesis Immortal's images? What was Hasbro's original plan for Heavy Duty? What vehicle was Hasbro going to include with Quarrel? And is the water moccasin boat in Hasbro's plans? We've got answers on all of that and a lot more. Watch until the end, we have a lot of news and updates. And first, we're going to kick things off with Nemesis Immortal. The reveal was this week, and this is not as big as many of us expected it would be. Height-wise, he's around the same size as Serpentor and Road Pig, and that means he's just a little taller than most standard height classified figures, and barely taller than figures like Roadblock, Gung-Ho, or Naugahyde. So right off the bat, in terms of accuracy, some collectors might be disappointed by this. The trade-off on the disappointing lack of size is all of this incredible sculpting from head to toe. Nemesis Immortal includes 2 head sculpts, one vintage and one from the Skybound comics. He has large removable wings, but most seem to think that these wings are too small for a body this large. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. He also comes with an extra set of hands, 2 swords, and the tentacle creatures from G.I. Joe the movie. This is the definition of an imposing figure. In this one image, Nemesis Immortal is holding up the lifeless body of once-a-man Cobra Commander, a callback to the movie. And here's Nemesis with his entire wingspan on full display. In another image, Sergeant Slaughter is suplexing Nemesis into the air. Overall, this is a fun character to add to Classified. It won't be for everyone, but it's one that a lot were waiting for. And we want to hear from you about this. Drop your thoughts in the comments below with your reaction to Nemesis Immortal. Does the size bother you, or are you blown away by this figure? Did you order this, or did you pass? Also, in the background of some images, there's a silhouette of a mysterious person. There are dual antennae on top of the head, and a large otherworldly looking sword. While some automatically jump to this being Budo, we can confirm that this is not Budo. Budo's samurai helmet has elongated horns which curve inward. Unlike that, these curve out like a bug's antennae. The character appears to be wearing a wide cape as well. We believe this is a redesign of either the Cobra Royal Guard or Bludgeon. The Royal Guard makes sense, of course, and they did have some small antennae on the side of their helmets. So they're definitely a possibility that we'll be looking out for, but aside from the Cobra connection, do the Royal Guards really make sense here? On the other hand, if it's Bludgeon, Bludgeon is a samurai robot with connections to the Transformers universe. He has a lot of armored gear and a large katana sword. He debuted in 2013 as part of a multi-pack, so a lot of collectors are not familiar with who Bludgeon is. If this is Bludgeon, he would be a crossover with the Energon universe, so we believe there might be something to this. And it might even be connected to the Skybound comics series. What we're showing you right now are some render images that we've mocked up of a G.I. Joe Classified Bludgeon figure. Based on the images here of what we've seen in the background of Nemesis Immortal, let us know what you think. Is this Bludgeon? Is it a Royal Guard? Or a brand new character? Be sure to provide your comments down below. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. Next, we move over to Heavy Duty. At last, Heavy Duty has arrived. Here he is infiltrating a Cobra compound, fenced in by a Cobra defense perimeter wall. In a recent interview, Lenny from the G.I. Joe team said it took a long time to develop Heavy Duty. Originally, Heavy Duty's Warframe battle apparatus was going to be strapped onto him. The apparatus lifts up over his body, then comes back down and clicks into place. The ammo feeds into the apparatus as well. The apparatus fits over Heavy Duty with his bandoliers still strapped over him, but Lenny did say that it fits best when Heavy Duty is not wearing the bandoliers. In terms of the look, Lenny wanted to make it look like it was straight out of a sci-fi movie. He called G.I. Joe grounded sci-fi. In my opinion, that's pretty close to what we see in the Predator movie. The apparatus is called the Man-Portable Heavy Weapon System. Heavy Duty has a rangefinder which goes over his eyes, and on the back of Heavy Duty's hat it says Shredhead, because Heavy Duty is a surfer. Lenny also recently explained that Heavy Duty's hat is attached to his head because hats present issues to them due to the minimum wall thickness that they have to use. What usually ends up happening with hats is the hat looks too thick and clunky for the figure's head. He said the original plan was to have both the hair and hat removable so that you could plug them onto the head and mix and match, similar to what they've done with Baroness and Lady J. But Lenny said it didn't feel right and the separation was too heavy with the hat. So instead, they made 2 separate head sculpts. Let me know your thoughts about Heavy Duty in the comments below. Are you in on this figure, or is this a pass? Then over to some digital renders, and we're going to start with Blowtorch. This one has some slight color variations from the vintage style, which opens the door for a retro Blowtorch in the future, which has his signature colors, the bright yellow and blood orange. Tony from the G.I. Joe team said that they gave Blowtorch muted colors. We know the reason why, we just spoke about it, it's the retro line. But in the meantime, this one will be available first, and the body is all new. His helmet is removable. Blowtorch does have a head sculpt underneath that is separate. This features some reuse from Torch, including the flame blast effects and the backpack with tanks. This is a new flamethrower. If you're a fan of Blowtorch, the muted colors might bother you, but overall, we want your thoughts on this. Does it look like Blowtorch? Are you happy with the design? And are you going to order this when it first comes out? Or are you going to be waiting for the retro Blowtorch instead? Then over to Frag Viper. This features his signature sculpted helmet, which we believe is a head sculpt and not a removable helmet. It also includes his trademark sash. He comes with 2 Uzis, a brand new backpack with mines and grenades contained inside. Then he has his handheld grenade launcher with a grenade feeding strip. And this also includes a grenade-throwing blast effects piece. Then over to the Cobra Defense Perimeter. This is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, and it's the first G.I. Joe Classified playset. The defense perimeter is a mix of both the Cobra bunker and the surveillance port. There are separate pieces for the walls, a floor base, and a roof, although the floor and roof are the same. The units can be stacked together to build up and out, and it's possible to build entire walls with these and create a defense grid for Cobra. The accessories include sandbags, ladders, turrets, spotlights, radars, and 2 posts. Trench Vipers included here as well, and there's a weapons rack. How cool is that? Hasbro has shown how this can be built up and out. It's just a matter of how many are people going to order. If you're in on this set, let us know down below, and share with us how many you're going to be ordering. We believe that the Checkpoint Alpha is not too far away, and it should include some reuse from Cobra Defense Perimeter parts. Next, over to the retro card figures. We have 3 new ones on the way that we already know about: Flint, CoverGirl, and Televiper. Retro Flint has been near the top of my personal wish list since the retro card collection became a thing. And good news for collectors, we can officially confirm that Retro Flint will have a new mold, just like Duke and Scarlet did. And we're excited to see how this one turns out. Then there's Retro CoverGirl. This one will be Sunbow inspired. She will have blonde hair this time around, and we expect a complete redeco of the original, with a green jacket and pants this time instead of brown. Retro Televiper will be vintage inspired, and we expect the classic look with short sleeves this time instead of long sleeves. This means there will only be 1 head sculpt and 1 skin tone, and it will likely have a brighter colorway. Next, over to more insight from the Hasbro team. Lenny from the G.I. Joe team has said that green, black, and red is the intended color scheme for Night Force. There are of course exceptions to this, as it's not a hard and fast rule. He said Quarrel's green, red, and black colorway fits naturally with Night Force, so they just went with it. Quarrel was included in a 2-pack with Night Force Falcon. However, she was almost presented very differently. She almost wasn't part of this 2-pack at all. Hasbro considered releasing Quarrel with her RAM cycle. The only reason they didn't is because they already had plans to do Night Force Shockwave and give him the Night Pursuit cycle, so they didn't want to overdo giving characters cycles so close together, and that's the reason why instead they paired her up with Night Force Falcon. Let us know your thoughts on this, and whether you would have preferred to have Quarrel with her RAM cycle. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. And then next, let's discuss figures not coming with their vehicles. Lenny from the G.I. Joe team recently said that CoverGirl didn't need to be attached to the Wolverine tank. He said they considered it, but didn't go along that way. He said they also considered attaching Copperhead to his boat, the Water Moccasin, but it's too big of a vehicle, he said, and that would have prevented Copperhead from being released anytime soon. So instead, Copperhead received the mainline treatment. Lenny said it wasn't worth waiting, and he'd rather have Copperhead in the main line than have to delay a figure like him. Let us know your thoughts on this. Are you disappointed that we're probably not getting a Water Moccasin anytime soon? This really shouldn't come as a surprise, because as we've covered here on Viper Island several times, the Hasbro team has been very vocal saying that their focus is on land and air vehicles, not the water-based vehicles. And this also means that we're likely a long way away from getting a Wolverine tank if we ever do. And there you have it. You've made it to the end of this episode, and we really appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. and we would love it even more if you take just 1 second of your time. Make sure that down below you are subscribed to the channel. We ask that you do, because that guarantees that we definitely get to see you back here again next time. Thanks for tuning into Viper Island, your one-stop shop for all things G.I. Joe. When there's relevant news, we'll be here to discuss all of it, together with you. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, have a great day, and yo Joe!